Hey, you are now locked in to Hard Reset with Juice Kastoan. Let's go. What up? This is episode 17 of Hard Reset. Today, so what I'm talking about, um, is the blueprint. And I ain't talking about the Jay-Z album, you know what I'm saying? Um, what I'm speaking of is some people, um, they have everything set up for them. It kind of continues on with what I was talking about in the previous episode about privilege. They have everything laid out for them. People tell them what they're gonna do, where they're gonna go, and how they're gonna get to where they need to get so they can be successful. But for people like me who aren't blessed to have that, there is no blueprint. There is no manual. There's nothing that is given to you to let you know this is what you need to do so you can succeed. My son, when he gets older, I'll give him the blueprint of what I learned. But I can tell you from my own experience, for me, there was no blueprint of, oh, you need to do this and do this and do this, and you'll get here. No, it was strictly, I just need you to go to school and finish your degree. And that was it. There was no other long-term planning from anyone or my family. So, honestly, I'm just here to let you know, like, there is no, for people like me, anyway, there is no blueprint for what you're trying to do. If anything, you're probably trying to reach something that people around you haven't reached before. You're probably going for something that no one around you has experience in, and it's up to you to figure it out. I said in Addicted to Winning, cost is high, but I paid it. Didn't exist, so I made it. There was no manual, so I had to create it. And I truly mean that. For where I am now, there was no blueprint to get me to this point. It's literally me sitting in a room researching and putting that research to action. Um, you have to look within yourself to research and to figure out how to better your situation based off of your options. You need to figure out what are your options. What is it that you can do to better your situation? What sacrifices will you have to make? What risks will you have to make to get there? And there's no question of are you willing to make these sacrifices or take these risks? There is no wondering. It's no, I'm doing this. I'm gonna figure it out. I just need to figure out what I'm gonna do. When it came to me, that's my mindset the whole time. I wasn't wondering if I could do it or would I be able to achieve whatever I'm going to achieve. It was just, okay, my end game is this. What do I need to do to get here? And then proceed to put action to the plan, you know? Um, I kind of feel like it's also up to us once we figure out where we're trying to go and how to get there. We need to pass that message on. Um, some things I wish I knew when I was younger that could have changed my trajectory. Um, I wish, actually, I wish I didn't go to school immediately. I wish I could have spent more time actually planning on what I wanted to do and how I wanted to approach things. Um, I feel like if I would have did that, I would have been more grounded instead of just going to school and, having no idea where I want to go, what I want to do, and then getting caught up in parties. feel like I should have stayed out a year or two and worked or something like that. But also, with that being said, if I would have did that, how would I have gotten to where I was? I wouldn't have been able to afford a car. At that point in time when I graduated, I didn't have a license. So how would I have worked that? Not to mention the job I was working, I wasn't getting paid a lot. So it would have been very hard for me to maneuver and do things. Um, so when I think about it, maybe things happen the way they were supposed to. But ideally, I wouldn't have went to school immediately. Um, if I would have known the opportunities afforded to privileged schools, I probably would have worked harder in high school, knowing, okay, well, if I want to go to school and this is what I'm going to do, and I want to have a career after graduating, I need to get good grades so I can make it to this school. I would have did that. Um, Actually, yeah, I would have did that. But it's all about fostering that ideal situation. But if I had the knowledge, then I probably would have thought about things differently. Um, Definitely would have wish I would have knew about that. I wish I would have known the earlier you can start in certain careers, the more set up long term you will be for those said careers in the long run. Um, I wish I knew that. For the military, I wouldn't have changed anything with the military. I think I still should have went. But I probably should have went when I was younger. I probably would have been more financially stable the older I got. Um, but also with that being said, if I was to choose to go to the military, I probably would have finished my degree first and went in as an officer. What would the degree be in? I don't think it would be anything important. Not anything I saw as my future, just a check in the box. Just try to get that degree and then go in as an officer. Um, Besides that, I think those are the two main things. I would have took school more seriously, and I definitely would have went to the military as an officer. Either I would have went to the military as an officer, or I would have went in as enlisted, but I would have started earlier than my late 20s. I think financially I would be in a different spot. So I definitely would have did that. Um, I just think if I would have did these things, maybe I would have got financially stable more sooner. And maybe the opportunities and jobs I would have had would have been different. Hell, maybe I would have stayed in the military long term. Who knows? But also, who knows what would have happened? Maybe I would have got my diagnosis of schizophrenia during that time while being in the military long term, and then I would have been in a worse situation. So who really knows how that would have went? Like, no one really knows. I don't know. It's hard to predict. Not to mention, I don't know. I mean, probably would have been okay, but I don't know how successful I would have been because my mindset, I don't know if I was mentally ready to succeed, if that makes any sense. I don't know if mentally I would have turned it on and been like, okay, I gotta work hard, I gotta do this to do that. Or if I would have been partying more, not partying more, but partying just like I was in college during that age. So who knows how that actually would have turned out. But if it came through anything, that's probably how things I wish I would have known. Um I still think through that process I would have learned through failure. But the good thing about learning through failure is, I mean, if you learn early, then you can adjust earlier and do well later on. That's the best part about learning through failure. Get your mistakes out when you're young, learn from them, and just make you stronger as the older you get. So that's how I actually feel about that. Um, when you don't have a blueprint and your future is uncertain, you do have to have a certain mindset. My mindset was I don't care if I don't know exactly where I'm headed or where I'm going. I'm gonna figure it. Well, not even I don't know where I'm going, but it's like I don't know how to get there. But since I don't know how to get there, I'm gonna do whatever I can to try to get there based off of whatever I know, whatever I research. Um, that's how I kind of feel about that. Like I'll find a way, no matter what. Um, besides that, being in a certain situation is just something I'm actually used to. It's not something new to me. Um, pretty much everything that I'm doing, my family hasn't done. So that basically leads me to being in situations that I'm not used to being in, and my family not really being in and being in those rooms. So I have to adjust and adapt to it. Um, if you feel like you have no direction and you don't know where you're going, I would say just put yourself out there and put yourself out there actually. Just put yourself out there and do something. Try to figure out what you like, what you don't like. And then once you find something that you like, figure out a goal in that thing. Or just look at something you're interested in and figure out how you can get involved and set a goal. And set that goal after you research and be honest with yourself and say this is how far I want to take it. This is how far I want to go. And this is how I'm going to get there. You're not going to know everything, but at least you'll get started. And then the more you're uh exposed to the business or whatever you're trying to do, the easier it'll be for you to make plans because you'll notice things and you'll see mistakes that people have made or see mistakes that you made. And you'll be like, oh, so I need to do it this way. Or I need to approach it this way. You know, it's like you'll have more of an idea of what you need to do to get to wherever you're trying to go. Um, other than that, this was the episode, the blueprint. Um, hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you got something from it. I'll let your boy. Other than that, I hope you have a good day.
This was Hard Reset. Hopefully you got some. Leave a comment, answer the polls. Go ahead and contact me at Jeuse Kastoan on Instagram, Twitter, everything to go and holler at your boy.
Mad thoughts just going through my head. Expectations have been met.